In the bottom left as player 1. In the blue, it is Vitto playing Vesper. And just very standard, going through the center with the commander route. Double sword. Will Zeronix change things up? Go the side capture path. They're playing high tiers, so we've got a Koji versus a Vesper. Normally these two are banned, but it seems like Zeronix is very comfortable playing high tiers. And the bans did include a bunch of picks like Dark Mercia and Merciful, so just wants to leave the high tiers open and feel comfortable playing things like Koji and Vesper. Koji actually has a decent matchup against Vesper because bombs, you know, they can wall and Vesper can't really do anything about it. And of course they explodes, which Vesper's cloud does not block. So goes for the tower capture first, just wants to grab this corner before Koji can really do anything about it. Of course, Zeronix does have an opening on P2 side that he can do where he goes down to here, then there, and then jumps in the wagon and decaps. So we will see if that's the case. Yep, goes for there. Probably gonna see capture, heal, wagon. And you don't heal fully, you do your builds first. When I was playing and I did this opening, if the wagon opening is coming, I healed before I did my second builds and didn't have enough gold to build 2 units, so I was down a sword early on, which is not where you want to be, but it did mean my commander was on much higher health. We're seeing Vitto goes for this. That's an interesting play, because I guess you only really want to grab this, and you're just trying to divide the map across this way. Normally it's like a deeper cut through, so like you try and grab that, for example. But I guess if both of them go for this, like you can technically grab like this corner village. Vitto might have a slight advantage here, actually. Just because of the way this is timed out. And goes for the heal off the center village with the commander. And we'll see how Zeronix responds. Is he going to go for... Oh, of course he's going to go for that grab first. Goes for this deeper grab here. This sword could run in. I mean, you're going to risk getting out into a fight, but... Goes for the heal. This is probably going to capture the hideout next. The hideout is very useful for a couple of reasons. A, thieves are really good on this map. Like, they're very situational, but they are very good when the opportunity arises. It's also a really useful thing to just be able to heal off of if you're under pressure. If you're on the defense and you have like more high mobility units, like being able to just run back and get a heal off this building, which doesn't really do much else, is very helpful. So we're going to see a second build. Dog comes out. The dog is fine because he's still going to heal like a decent chunk of his health. It's still going to be enough health to take down a village. Even if a village heals for 1 turn, I think you can do a 60 health village when you're on like 85, 90. Vitto, he's just gonna be able to put a lot of pressure on this side. Dog's gonna make this safe, so this can't really run up and decap. Vitto's gonna have a slight economic advantage due to like this positioning on this side. And he could run forward and capture this, but I think that's a mistake because this is gonna put on... That's just gonna give Koji groove if he goes for that. And you don't get a lot of gold for it. I'd almost like to see him just run up and hit this village. Maybe try and go for like a decap, but And things need to happen is like this needs to get back captured. Yep, and then he'll probably go to the hideout after. Does go for the capture on this village. That's a bit of a risky play because you're going to end up in a situation where... Oh, I mean, like, this is really punishing because that's going to be a sword crit onto that sword, and that's on a road, so you're talking quite a lot of damage. How much does the sword normally do? 60? So it's like an average of 90 with the crit. And then, yeah, Koji's going to follow up and smack this down. This could just capture the tower. So yeah, this is really not a great play. The wagon just completely counters it. Would have really liked to have just seen this sword, like even just move more to the center. Allowed him to put pressure off over here. Push forward with the commander. So yeah, Vito's gonna have like an economic lead for a very short period of time. But he's going to lose most of a sword to it. And that sword can't retreat either, so it's just gonna get caught and die. And he's just going to lose this village pretty much straight away. And yep, that's even like a slight high roll as well, so 9%. If it runs back and heals, Koji can then walk down later and just take that too. I don't really know what you do in this situation. Just like, you just take the loss and I guess push for the middle. Vesper has no free hits really, so Koji's gonna be able to cover this village by the time Vesper gets there. Zeronix getting a balloon. Might see a spear come out. Yep. Doesn't capture this, which I think is a good choice. Just really wants to deny any kind of groove opportunity from Vesper. And the spear is going to allow that to decap. And also decap it safely, because, you know, the balloon will block. Alright, welcome back, Tyra. I always appreciate anybody stopping by. I recognize your name. It has been a while, but... Back to the match in question. So this economic lead the Vito has is gonna come in useful. Like, he's gonna be able to... I honestly, if I was Vito, I would just bank for one turn. Try and push forward, get more captures. This is a really nice position on the knight. He's gonna threaten there. And then it'll walk forward, what, 2 squares, and then be able to threaten that. And then you're forcing the spear into, like, it either has to go down to defend against the knight, or it goes there to defend against this. And I think the commander just being able to walk up and get a capture is going to be quite useful. But yeah, if there's one thing Zero doesn't want to happen, it's Vesper to get groove. Nice positioning here. Just doesn't want to get hit by the sword or the dog. So we're probably going to see this move to there. Dog could move a bit further, so maybe the dog to here, just to pressure the sword off. Oh, it goes here instead. And that makes sense, because yeah, the forest is now protecting the dog, and the dog gets even closer. This sword moves back. And I guess if he tries to follow up and go for a kill, Like he'll just die to the dog sword combo. Ooh, and Vesper is lining up to get a kill on this village. So, options here. Harpy might be good. Balloon might be good. I mean, you'd obviously need like a good unit to go with the balloon if you do go balloon, but I think Harpy is good just because it punishes up here, it forces units to come out. He's saying something to chat. That economic play may work. For Vitto, while Koji and some of his dudes are occupied with the side, he could potentially make expensive things and wait for Vesper Groove. Although it doesn't look like Vesper can munch on anything for a while. Very true. There's no village. This can't be hit. And I think at this point you could almost just go for the capture. Whereas Zeronix just saying, I'm just going to kill the sword. Kills that. Probably going to try and kill this next. This is probably going to try and move somewhere where it can't get hit. So like maybe this tile here. Then he can move his commander in. What did he get? Double mage? Okay, so is he banking? He is banking 450. Which means unless something else goes down, he's going to be able to build a dragon next turn. And that's a big threat. Zero is getting his own income going. He's on 1000 right now. If he goes for this village, it'll be 1100. But if he captures that, I think that either this village or this village is going to go down. That said, this is an awkward position. Like, I mean, he can't hit this sword with his sword. Ooh, even puts the wagon forward aggressively. There isn't much of a punish. Technically, like, Vesper goes down here, hits that sword crit onto that. I guess like dog follows up and like hits here. Or like hits there. And you have like a mage to back up behind everything. Oh, it goes for the capture with the back sword, allowing this sword to be in the forest where it's nice and safe. That said, sword runs and hits. You put Vesper in the river and kill the sword. And that's Groove. You'll get. And she'll have a dragon to keep her kind of safe from like getting surrounded. Double mage nearby means she can do it safely. There's no real punish on her if she's in the water. It'll take like a turn for her to get surrounded, and then you know you've got a mage nearby. You've got this mage that could just go nearby as well. Like the balloon can't really surround safely because the balloon can just die to a mage and there's nothing that can happen. So probably gonna see this sword die unless Vito decides to go somewhere else. He has three options. He goes for the swords, he goes for this village up here and tries to play aggressive into a Koji who will just return fire, or retreats. Those are the three options that I can see. I mean, in theory you could hit this village, but I think that's just a really bad idea. Like, move this knight up to where the dog is, so it covers there and can crit on this village. And there's really nothing protecting this, so... Okay, goes for the village hit instead. I think that was... Oh, because it's 70, so full health Vesper is 70 to 80 damage. So 67 off of 90% of that. Do some math. I think that's a fairly low roll, but yeah, look, there's a dragon out now, so good luck pushing into like this army. And we're probably gonna see Harpy or Witch come out, maybe even his own dragon. He might just like retreat using this wagon, run all the way over here, build a dragon on this side. Because yeah, the mage is covering any air to air option. So like a Witch or a Harpy isn't going to be that effective against this dragon. And yeah, this knight is in a nice position to crit this village. There's nothing covering that. Like if the pike comes down, like it could technically get there, but it moves into a spot where it doesn't cover this village anymore. Oh no, actually it wouldn't. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh no, that's actually a longer indirect route. Alright, Witch comes out. A good option against the dragon, but the dragon can now just wander off elsewhere. Is Zeronix actually just gonna fight into this? Yeah, he's gonna take a sword out. He's almost got Koji bombs. Ooh. This is actually a really nice defensive play because, okay, like you could suicide the dog in, but this village surviving is like a huge deal. Ooh, goes for a surround. I like the dog crit as well, that's actually really smart. This mage is gonna walk down. So, oh, you can't even hit that. The witch is covering the dog and the sword. So yeah, if he just moves the mage down, then he's in a really good spot. He's just gonna build another mage because yeah, like the dragon is such a big threat that you want to be able to kill this. He wants to be able to like keep pressuring with Koji. Oh, do I have a Saikoya? Alright, we're gonna see if Saikoya can join in for this. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry
about that.
are you in the game?
I'm launching right now. I'll get to it.
Okay. So right now, I just jumped into game 2. We'll do game 1 after. Vitto is currently surrounded on Vesper, but there is like an escape route. It's not like a complete surround.
Oh.
I'm actually, oh, so Zeronix moved his mage in a bit of an awkward way that basically means his dragon can just kill a unit for free. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. There is a completely defenseless sword over here. Yeah, there's a nice position from Zero here. I just think Vito has a good punish. Like his dragon can kill a sword for absolutely free. His commander can walk away pretty safely. He also has a mage in a position to just pop a balloon. And he's got another mage like kind of nearby, which will be in range this turn to do something, so. Yeah, Zero did a nice aggressive play, but I think not really the end of the world.
Alright, I got him. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Like I think if he'd moved the mage, like if Zero just moved that mage down like directly south instead, it would have just covered this entire south flank. Like maybe he wants it so he can heal Koji if he needs to, but I don't think that's a good option at all.
Mm. I mean, I don't remember if he moved it before attacking with his units.
Okay, there goes the night crit, and that was being lined up for a while.
Yeah, this village usually like it's kind of a big blow to the economy because usually it's not contested, but if it's not that hard to take if your opponent kind of moves away from this part of the map.
Yeah, and he had the spear that Zero moved. If he just moved it to the river, like 2 tiles south after he built it, it would have covered the night. So,
I mean, the knight could have decapped from the bottom, I guess.
oh, but because of the way the units moved, the knight wouldn't have been able to hit below because he put it underneath that forest tile next to the 9 village.
Oh, okay.
And you like Zero had the option to respond by moving the spear directly south to cover. But these are like the small mistakes that people make. Because you know pressure's on. Like this is
I
tournament.
mean, I guess he kind of wanted to have the spear to cover the HQ, I guess. There is a knight crit
that
kind
is
of on it
true.
now.
Yeah, there's a sword and a night crit on it, so
The dragon could just like fly straight across the map to get to the HQ.
yeah, it could pick up a sword on the way.
I mean, maybe you get surrounded if you do that, but
I think if you
like,
kill the balloon,
you get to kill something regardless because there's a road next to the dragon, so I don't think it's a bad move.
yeah. But I think if the mage just pops the balloon and Vesper runs to like the village and heals, yeah, then there isn't really that strong a kill option on Vesper. That said, that dog's quite a big threat.
Yeah, I don't know about the dog.
Because, well, you got low health dog, low health sword, and a witch hex.
Yeah, that's true, but then you only have Koji as your big hitter. Like usually for lethal, you want 2 big hits and then smaller ones, I suppose.
Yeah, that is true.
Although, I mean, dog crit is a pretty big hit, but you know.
Actually, especially like if the high health dog hit Vesper first, then the second dog is like a crit suicide dog.
Yeah. I mean, is there a lethal here? Like, you could heal the dog maybe. Although it might not suicide if you do that. Uh,
Yeah, I don't actually know. On the lower end of the 5 health scale though, so maybe it'll work. I see Faded Sun in chat, people randomly waking up early. I randomly woke up early today as well, it seems to be going around.
might have something to do with the moon or whatever.
I think, well actually, I guess if we're in Europe, a lot of us got an extra hour of sleep this week, so maybe that's partly why, but I mean, like I woke up like 6 hours than I normally have been, so I don't think an extra hour of sleep has been.
I don't think there's a lethal, from what I can tell. There might be if you like use the wagon to put the dog like on the left of the 8 health dog, and then you crit that way, and like maybe another like the low health sword can then finish the dog. then you got 3 sides, but you only have 2 things to hit with. If you do that,
I think Zeronix is realizing, oh, my headquarters is not in a good position right now. Immediately just puts loads of stuff out to block. Builds a harpy because he has to.
yeah, the harpy will probably try to reclaim the village too.
And oh, I actually really like this arch. Oh, I'm gonna say this again. I really like this archer build from Vitto. I was saying it all yesterday, but this is the situation where you need one because Koji could kill this dog, like just hit it from the north, and then all of a sudden, like Koji bombs are gonna come next turn.
You could hit Vesper from the forest and like have something on the left of the forest so that nothing can go through.
Yeah, actually, you could follow up sword crit onto Vesper from forest. Balloon position is interesting.
I guess he's gonna go for the dog, yeah.
Oh, you might go from the right to hit it?
Or he might want to heal stuff on the village, maybe. Although the village is pretty low on health, so it's not gonna matter that much.
Yeah. I'm curious what he's gonna do here.
I think the mage is gonna be wagons near the center. Otherwise, the dragon will just hit that spear in the center for free. And I mean, kinda need to wagon the mage towards the HQ, otherwise dragon will end up going there.
Yeah, there's only really Harpy guarding it now. So.
And Harpy does really good damage to dragon, but
Take a look.
they do 40.
40 is pretty good. Although that mostly just slows it down more than really.
Yeah, but like for example, if the dragon wants to attack the HQ, then it takes the counterattack damage plus the harpy, and then it's like below 50% after that. So Vito can't really go for it because he doesn't have Vesper Groove yet. If he had Vesper Groove, this would be a totally different situation.
Ooh, Koji's retreating. Zero's just gonna play a longer game.
I think the balloon is to prevent Vesper from getting Groove on the village.
Oh, that's really smart. Oh, in the witch position as well. Huh. So he's gonna take a little bit longer to get his own groove up.
Yeah, making a wall to prevent the dragon from getting to the HQ.
Yeah, and also the dragon can't reach the spear as well, which is very important because, you know, if that dragon could hit spear from the south, like knight runs in, crits the HQ, sword covers the right hand side.
We're seeing a thief come out.
We are. And he's skipping a barracks build to do it.
Build for that, yeah. Guess he really doesn't like the village on the right being captured.
Yeah, I mean, he's got balloon plus wagon to help with that thief, so.
I mean, the village isn't even that far away from the hideout. Like 3 turns backwards, I guess.
Okay, so here's like the kind of like little. Oh, actually no, because that's like. I was thinking the dog in the forest, but that's Vito's dog. I'm being stupid. Yeah, like this dragon just like can't really do much.
I mean,
Everything's kind of
usually
blocking
like,
it.
yeah, usually the dragon is on one side and it can travel across the map to attack the other side. But the other side is kind of already in Vito's control, so it doesn't really have that option.
Yeah, it really just doesn't have a good option. I guess you just pull it back and use it to threaten. Because if you look
Yeah.
at Zero's side of the map, he has a witch to deal with this, which he built to deal with this dragon. He has like these two mages. He built a harpy on the right hand side, partly to deal with the knight, but also to stop the dragon from going across.
I mean, that's true. The dragon doesn't really have to attack for now, because dragon really becomes very potent in combination with Vesper Groove.
Oh yeah, that is a very good point. Because it will just run in one shot something and won't die.
Yep. It's kind of like the I'd say the easiest combo to pull with Vesper is just have one dragon or two and run them in groove.
I wonder
You
if
can
we'll
do a
see.
lot of damage that way.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see a second dragon come out.
Mm.
Although maybe a witch, just to like go and one shot that harpy. Vitto seems to be repositioning as well. There's a lot.
I think the mage is now walking towards the right side, so I don't think he needs a witch of his own. Or I mean, a witch wouldn't be bad into Koji, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing is like witch is just very useful to have against Koji. Because, you know, one archer isn't going to actually be enough to do anything.
I mean, what I like doing is you poke at the Koji bomb with the archer, and then the bomb can't wall anymore and has to go heal.
The bomb also could just run up and detonate on you though.
Yeah, but I mean,
I get what you mean though, like it takes health off a village, which is useful.
I mean, bomb for archer isn't bad when people usually trade witch for bomb.
Yeah, and I mean actually Vesper could in theory. Oh, I mean I don't think she's going to be able to. I think bombs are going to come out first, and she's going to take a while to get groove. But in theory, she could throw smoke down, and you could just run up and shoot them with stuff. Although the bombs will still detonate on melee. So yeah, this is why a lot of people ban Koji, is because they don't want to have to deal with stuff like this.
I mean, if you know how to deal with it, it's not that bad, I feel. Like, I mean, quotation marks on just, but you need to keep your CO safe from the bombs and have units that can deal with the bombs, and that's about it. And since Koji is slow, it's not that hard to have the right units before he gets the bombs out.
I think we're gonna see Vitto just bank this turn. Seems to be the case. Just goes double spear and a balloon.
Wasn't he already banking though?
He was a little, but he didn't have quite enough. He had enough to build. Like he could go dragon and like one sword or one dog, but he couldn't go dragon double build.
He could have gone golem, I guess.
Yeah, but is golem?
Wouldn't have been that bad because Zeronix doesn't really have any units that can deal with a golem.
Yeah, actually, he doesn't really have enough income to do anything about that. Although I do think this thief is going to come down and do a steal. Actually, the thief will have trouble getting back because the dragon threatens to just run up and kill it. Dragons absolutely destroy thieves.
I think he might be able to make it back because the mage isn't quite there yet. So this turn the harpy will zone out enemies, I guess. to make space for the thief. And like Zeronix still has that very mobile army with like a balloon, a wagon, and then generally mobile units as well. I think he's even putting the thief in a position to threaten the other village if Vitto allows it.
Oh yeah, you can go for either of them.
Although I think maybe he'll like steal from the right village and then use the left village to finish up charging groove maybe.
I almost wonder if we're gonna, I mean, we're probably not, but like I wonder if we'd see a second harpy come out here. Just with how little anti-air is on the map. And especially on the right hand side of the map. Oh, and Zero is just being really aggressive with this positioning.
I think Zeronix might wanna like bank a little bit this turn as well, so that he has enough money to respond to whatever Vitto is banking for.
Alright, well he goes one dog. Probably gonna see maybe even a second dog. And just like bank for a turn. Oh, a spear comes out.
Kind of abandoning the left side a little bit.
Yeah, that is potentially Vesper just walking up and knocking it down for groove. And okay, like the thief can steal, but Vitto can just shove up the left hand side now, get groove off of the village, and put herself in a good position. Like there's 2 more turns until Koji groove comes out. So I guess Vitto would want to use the opportunity to build groove.
Yeah, and Vesper is like, it's one of those commanders that don't need to be near the front to actually use her groove.
Yeah, she can just sit back safely. And
I mean, she can be on the other side of the map hitting villages and and use groove anywhere, which is really one of her strengths.
I do understand why Zero moved everything though, because yeah, you don't want to be in a position where
I guess if you
Yes,
wanna
you're caught.
use the thief, you need units to cover it. So Zeronix has to commit quite a bit to the right side. He figures if he doesn't commit enough, he might lose the left without taking the right side back. So I think going like switching sides entirely might be a good call here.
Looking at Vito's economy, this is ridiculous. 1675 banked on a turn. I'm just curious what he's gonna buy. Like, I think you're right, Golem would make a lot of sense here. Like you were saying earlier, he could build a Golem. And Golem does get quite a bit of benefit from Cloud too. Because you just run up with the Golem, one-shot something, hit something else with the Dragon. And that's like 2 units dead that you got to choose.
Yeah, and Golem one-shotting generally benefits like Vesper because it means you can do a very aggressive push into your opponent's army and then kill like quite a few units. Even means like it means that you can't really wall properly against Vesper before she uses groove.
Oh, and here's a witch buy. So no Golem this turn, no Dragon this turn.
Yeah. Banking for a witch, I guess.
Might see another bank this turn actually.
Yeah, that's possible.
Like the witch is just useful because it kills the harpy. And there's this thing that happens when you're up on economy. You don't have to take favorable gold trades. I mean, that's always the case. Like, you don't always have to take favorable gold trades, but like you kind of want to in general. But in situations like this, where let me think of the best way of wording this, where like you have the lead already, so you can trade an expensive unit for something that's like way cheaper, just to give you that positional, and you don't have to care as much. One thing I think was a slight mistake here is I think this 8 health dog should have been to the right side of the mage, because now Zero can potentially just run in and kill the mage,
yeah,
or like damage the mage heavily. Yeah. But I don't know if he has the economy to be able to sacrifice units like that. And if he does, Vesper will just kill it and get Groove, and then she'll get Groove again off the village afterwards, so...
Yeah, and what do you really gain by damaging the mage? Because like your only air around there is the witch and the balloon, and they can't really block anything. They can't really like kill anything either.
Yeah, the mage just walks back and heals if you wanted to. And I don't think there's like a combo, like I don't think you could do dog suicide with like a mage with a sword follow up. Like you're sacrificing a lot to kill one mage. But I don't think that's gonna be the case. Right, Zero. He's banked quite a lot, and he's gonna get even more of this beef. So, and the wagon, I think that road tile is pretty safe.
You could even make a balloon to bring it back, really.
Yeah,
Get in position for the next spear.
that would actually make it ridiculously safe to go for that. Ooh, picks off the dog. Gets the balloon as well. Oh, he is going to hit. So there was a lot of character. I honestly think that 8 health dog should have been blocking and defending the mage.
I guess he wanted to defend the balloon, but yeah, there's relatively no anti-air on that side now.
Oh, he gets the sword crit, then dog follow up as well, so that sword's dead. This is a nice little skirmish on his side. He is gonna lose a bit for it though. Like the mage is gonna go down. Vesper
the
can
mage
kill.
is on the road, in range of the dragon, actually.
Oh, right. That mage is very dead then. Could even see something like...
You can't kill the witch, but you can like archer crit it and then mage it so that your dragon won't die next turn. To like witch harpy.
The harpy does cover if the dragon goes for the hit. But it might just be worth doing it. Although, yeah, I guess he could just move his second mage to cover his first mage. Golem comes out. And a mage. Well, I guess mage plus golem makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it makes sense to build them in the barracks he did. The mage wants to like cover a bit the HQ from the dragon once the other mage moves left. The golem is closer to Zeronix's attack.
Yeah. This is a really nice position from Zeronix then. And Vito starts the turn off with not that much gold. His unit counts really suffered as well.
I mean, it's because of the thief that he doesn't really have that much gold.
Yeah, but like, He's down on gold for this turn. He's just taking a real beating in one go, and he doesn't really have enough to counterattack this effectively. Like, okay, you can kind of pick off... You could, like, pick off the mage with the dragon, but you just lose the dragon in return. Like, there's too much stuff nearby. So Zero's really turned this around in one turn.
Yeah. Vitto kind of overextending, thinking Zeronix abandons the left side.
But it only takes like a little fight like that to just take a few units, and then all of a sudden like you're back at this kind of... Like you're on the back foot. A lot of this stuff is just near his headquarters too, so...
And Koji will have Groove next turn. So this headquarters is gonna be in quite a dangerous position soon.
Yeah, he can't quite reach it next turn, but he can definitely position his army to be able to take it down the turn after. And that's the other thing, is like, you throw your Koji bombs down, and then the next turn you use them. That's like the really important phase. Because if you use them on the turn you spawn them, like you don't get to do the thing where like you hit twice with the bombs and once with Koji in one turn. And that does, what, like 90 damage to a headquarters just by itself?
Another thing you can do is like you spawn the 2 bombs and then you have Koji in position to sword crit.
Oh, right, yeah.
And that does about as much. Because sword crit is
Really good.
really good.
Yeah, it's incredible damage to a headquarters. Shame he doesn't have like a few more like low health swords, because you could do like suicide sword crits into the headquarters. Okay, almost takes the witch down. 10%.
No, it's 10% is actually funny because the other wish can run over and hex it next turn if it doesn't heal.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess the thing I know about having a low health witch, like, okay, it's like good as a body blocker if there's no anti around, but like, you just use it for hexing at that point. You're just like, oh well, this witch is gonna do nothing else for the rest of the game. I'm just gonna suicide and hex with it.
You can use it to prevent enemy witch crits.
Oh, that's a good point as well. Like you could put it next to the balloon or the harpy or both, if it works out. That's quite good actually.
Like when you have an archer, low health witch, and a harpy, you can like hit the witch with the archer. Then you put the witch one tile away from the enemy witch. Then you hit it with your harpy, and it's a good trade. It's pretty funny. But I think, yeah, Vitto's gonna need a little more forces to defend this. And his archer's most likely gonna die this turn. Which is...
That's unfortunate, because it's like the turn that you really want it to stay alive.
Yep.
I guess he could try and pick off the mage with like a spear and a dog. But you're sacrificing quite a lot to do that. And, oh, like you could tell Vitto just wants to hit something with Vesper and kill, because there's so much low health stuff around. But because there's so much low health stuff around, that's like, there's a sword suicide, there's like, what, 3 sword suicides and a dog suicide nearby? So that's like a good like 35%, 30%, something like that. Plus witch hex. Oh, yeah, he's
Put
gonna...
a hit on the mage.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. Just
Yeah.
because, like, you don't want the mage heal to be a thing. And it does actually... This means that the archer is a bit safer. Like, Zero has to spend units to clear this dog and this spear out first.
I mean...
Or I guess you could just kill the mage, but...
Yeah, I think it's still dead. Like...
Oh, actually, he's got
Just
so many
the
dogs and stuff.
9
nearby.
HP sword and the dog would be enough to kill it, probably.
Yeah. Oh, it's on a road. Dog crit will one-shot the dog if it's on a 0 defense tile. So, like, you move like one dog into
I don't
position.
really like this dragon position, because you're not covering the left side anymore.
I think. Oh, right. I see what he's doing. He's putting a lot of pressure on the headquarters. The knight can crit behind the HQ, and dragon can hit it from like 3 different sides.
Yeah, but the thief is a pretty tanky unit, you know.
Yeah, this is true. You could put the thief above.
Although the thief and hex, I mean, don't really work together, because you can hex the thief and then a sword kills it. So I guess that doesn't.
I'm curious how this... I want to see what Zero does with this witch. Like, does he like try and keep it alive? Does he hex like the left hand side? Because he could hit a lot of stuff with a single hex right now. He's still got a little while until bombs are out and doing stuff.
Well, next turn.
Yeah,
Is,
but I actually got mixed up and I thought it would be this turn that he'd have bombs, so...
Oh no. I mean, you can kill the archer quite easily here, but it might take a little. Like, you'd only lose low HP units at this point.
I guess
So
like
I
you
think-
just run a sword up on the mountain and kill the mage.
Yeah, I think you could just like use your low HP swords to kill the mage, and then your low HP dog and your 9. Oh yeah, that worked.
Oh, big crit on the knight.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of things you want to happen in this game. You could even finish the knight off with his sword. Just removes it from the equation completely. And then, you know, if Vito wants to build another knight, it's going to take a while to get to that headquarters.
Can he still kill the archer actually? He might need to balloon the crit with the dog or something. Actually, I don't think he can still.
I think he is just going to swing right at this point. Like, maybe pick off the dog. Swing right, kill a lot of that army over there. Then the golem in. Because he's not, like... You can just win with small trades. Like, you don't have to go for a big finishing move. Don't want to... Oh, just injures the sword instead. I feel
and
like... My
now
own...
that the knight is weak, you could use the mage to cover for the HQ. Yeah, puts the witch right outside the other witch's X range.
Yeah, and the archer range as well. So... He's just gonna keep that stored up for later. I think he's just gonna move everything to the right. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's just gonna go back and forth and take really good trades each time.
And this is really like possible because he has mobile army.
He even kills the dog with Koji, and there's nothing to punish it. Like, the archer is in range, and the low health spear is in range, and a dog. Oh, two dogs actually.
Both
So
dogs and the archer. But that's
not enough. No.
Well, oh, you have the witch hex too.
Well, now there's
And
a couple dogs.
yeah,
in the way.
I was gonna say now the spear can suicide, but it got finished off. So
Would the spear have suicided?
it was
on like 80-ish health.
It was an 8 before the dog hit. Yeah, I was talking like between the two dog hits basically.
Oh right. Yeah, I don't think you don't hit with one dog and then not the other.
Yeah.
So something Vito can get here is he can kill the sword or one of the dogs with Vesper. Probably the sword. I think that's the safer option.
The archer survived though.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I was saying Vesper could run up and kill, but there's Koji bombs on the field, so. Or there's about to be Koji bombs on the field.
Yes, and now you have to start being very careful. Like, especially the turn the bombs come out. He has so much range because he can move, then bomb, then the bombs move. It's pretty ridiculous.
I think there are some safe options
here. The turn you
here,
groove, you have a lot of range, and then the turn afterwards, you have a lot more punch, I guess.
That I don't know if is a good
That's
option.
really dangerous.
Yeah. I guess you could like night crit the sword, so that clears that sword suicide, and there's like dogs and an archer to clear like other low health stuff from around. But yeah, that is incredibly dangerous to do that. Archer clears that dog.
Let's see, so you have Koji bombs, you have the sword suicide crit, you have the other sword crit maybe.
I guess like Knight crits that sword from above.
And then you have a spear crit, because you balloon one over.
Yeah.
You could even, oh. The other sword is alive, so that's now, I think Vesper is probably gonna die here.
I think the only way that Vesper is gonna live is if like units get put in front of Vesper.
It doesn't look like it's gonna be the case.
So that's what, a sword crit suicide?
Yep.
Koji does bombs.
Like 2 sword crit suicides, Koji bombs, witch hex, spear crit, and the sword crit.
Yeah, he should have cleared the sword with his knight, not the village. That mage taking a bit of a roundabout route to move like 1 tile to the right, but or 2 tiles to the right even, just like doing a bit of a zigzag.
Yeah, he's very dead. I'm not sure if he even has to risk the 9 HP crit suicide. He could just suicide without the crit. Because you get like a spear crit is like 30. You get another sword crit that's like, let's say 20 on planes. Because let's say let's round it to 20 and then that will be our planes defense. Then you get 45 from Koji, so that's Koji bombs, that is.
I like Faded pointing out that like ignoring this like lethal for a moment, this wagon has been the MVP all game. Just like moving the army back and forth. Like helping like he's totally gonna turn the thief in first, like regardless if he goes for the lethal or not, I think he's just gonna turn the money in. Just because he can. Vito's just like his entire.
Oh, the witch comes there.
Ooh. Okay.
I think he might have spotted the lethal and yeah, that's a good move. The mage isn't in range to kill it. Actually, that might be a strategy. Like you put yourself in position where you can be lethal, and you keep the option to cover later. And then at the end of your turn, you cover, so your opponent has been thinking about the lethal all this time. And then, nope. That's pretty funny.
Okay, well, I think Zero is still in a really good place. Like,
Yeah, he's still in a pretty good place.
like this Harpy can just fly down. Probably, I would say, yeah, it's gonna hit the sword. I would have hit it, the sword, and then used the other sword to finish that off. But, yeah, he just wants to weaken the swords as opposed to killing them. Oh my god, like, look at this army on the right hand side from Vito. It's like a 1 health sword, a 1 health knight, a 3 health sword, a 1 health sword.
And if they heal on villages, it'll be easy for Zeronix to decap them afterward.
I just thought of a really fun play that Zeronix could do here. Is you just like drop the 2 bombs and put one above the knight and one below the knight. I don't know if he's gonna go for it.
I mean, yeah, I guess Vita would have to use a witch to defend them, but
And like
Oh,
you
he-
would just like alright, so this is like
the
oh,
witch,
I like this.
the witch is gonna die from a hex. This is, she forgot to heal it.
Yeah, that is true. I don't think it's too bad though. I think what he could have done though is he puts the bombs in position and then runs up and hexes Zero's army. Like just does a suicide hex. Because then like the knight just gets killed. Like the witch can't break the bomb open. But yeah, Zero's just gonna push down this bottom right hand side now. Like he's just gonna go back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, fight where you're winning, you know?
Yeah. And it was Zero that was saying like Wargroove is a very defensive game where it's all about repositioning your forces to where you're strong. And he's gonna have this thief able to do captures again.
The thief is in in range of the balloon, so he could send it to the left front and have an easy time knocking down villages that way.
Yeah, or you know, you can send it to the center. Like he could capture. In theory, he could use this to decap the tower like in 2 turns time, if he really wants to. And Vito, like because Zero's ahead on time. Like speaking of the word time, he can just take as long as he wants. Well, not as long as he wants, but Vito is now in the position where he has to do something, and he does have Groove coming up. So
That's true.
but he needs an army to, you know, do something with. Because like he can't really move his dragon to the right because there's like 2 mages and a harpy. So he just has to take a turn to kind of like reposition everything. And this is a slightly precarious position for Vesper to be in. There's like double sword suicide here. Golem can walk up and hit.
I mean, I'm thinking maybe you just run the witch up hex and get like the biggest hex of Wargroove that also kills the enemy witch.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I guess you lose one of the main benefits of killing the enemy witch, which is your witch can now kill the bombs, but
He may very well save it for a turn. Use Vesper Groove to do a very safe witch hex.
yeah, that's true. No need to attack while you're waiting for Vesper Groove next turn. Heals the knight. Yeah, I guess he's preparing to attack the HQ, but Zeronix is gonna be able to reposition around it before he gets there, so it's not gonna be that easy.
Okay, we're looking at this, just kind of like repositioning for the center. And I guess he isn't really in a position where like Zeronix can cleanly attack into him.
No, I think Zeronix is just gonna reposition around his headquarters.
They will continue kind of jockeying for position here. Ooh, this witch movement. It is safe there, so. And there isn't quite enough to deal damage to Vesper, like the bombs are just out of range. So you're looking at what, like a sword suicide, a golem and a mage hit. So yeah, she's nice and safe.
Yeah. Doesn't really make sense to attack Vesper the turn before she grooves. Because you expose your army and then she can counterattack without worrying about your own counterattack.
Okay, that was a very obvious sword kill coming in. Let's take a look at the income's even. Army size is actually pretty even right now, especially if you include the fact that there are 2 bombs on the field.
Zeronix has yet to build units though. And it's his turn.
Oh, that is true.
So he's ahead a few units. It's not gonna matter that much, I think. Well, I mean, it might matter quite a bit because since Zeronix has the more mobile army, he can leverage the unit count advantage a little more than Vitto. But yeah, Zeronix has to defend his HQ this turn actually, because Vesper could like send the dragon in and then set up a night crit and groove, and then you can't like remove the dragon from your HQ, and it's complicated to defend from there. Although if you have the bombs, maybe it's possible, but it's still really complicated.
I guess you move the bombs into a defensive position. Like one of them can kind of get into a decent spot where it helps keep the dragon from being able to hit the headquarters. And this witch actually is quite nice because it threatens to pop the balloon, which opens up more sides on the headquarters.
Yep. I mean, defending with the bombs is a bit awkward because you want the witch standing next to them, But since now Vesper has Groove, the option of hexing the witch to kill it and then grooving afterwards is still open. So yeah, I think Zeronix actually putting a bit of a threat on Vesper's HQ is smart here. Like forces the army to stay a bit divided.
And it isn't just the headquarters, like he threatens the side village as well, so even if he can't kill the HQ, he's going to take a village down this turn. Or next turn, I should say. I like this, just pulling his army back. Realizes this isn't a great position. The Harpy's in range of the Witch, but I don't think you're going to sacrifice a Witch to kill one Harpy when there's like 2 mages nearby. Even puts more stuff in the way, so the Harpy is now safe from the Witch.
Unless the dragon kills the thief. Or the mage, right?
Or
Yeah.
the mage, but there's another mage behind. He has so many, like, he has like 2 golems now. He's just gonna like make a giant wall. This is a really good strength of Vesper though. Is like she doesn't even have to put Groove down this turn, but Zeronix has to guard his headquarters. And I almost wonder if like Zero is regretting not banning Vesper.
I mean, Zero is the one to blame for this situation, you know?
Yeah.
Puts the bomb out of reach of the archer. I guess he moved the rest of his army before the bombs, so he doesn't really have any fair place to put them anyway.
Bombs out of range of not just the archer but the witch as well. MVP wagon. Bearing something to the front. That's a big front that is very difficult to attack into.
Yep, but Vesper is pretty good at attacking into armies, I guess.
Yeah, but there isn't. For all
I
like the
don't think
high.
he's gonna do it this turn, but
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff like he needs to defend his headquarters. Like there needs to be spears guarding the front of this HQ. Otherwise, like the knight's just gonna knock it down.
I mean, it should be fine even letting a Night Crit get into it, as long as nothing else follows up.
Moves his own knight. I don't know about that positioning on the knight. Because it doesn't really... I guess he can target a village for free. Or like the wagon. Like if anything stands where the wagon is. But
Yeah, I'd like to have it maybe one more up. This way you can still attack into Zeronix if he goes left.
I love that Vito's mirroring where the knight threatens. So like Zero's knight threatens to crit on the same village as Vito's does on the opposite side.
Oh yeah, he's gonna take that village actually. The difference is that Vito's village is pretty undefended. Right now, at least.
Yeah, like I don't think you're gonna see something move in to defend it though. Like the knight's just gonna run down and hit it. And there's no option to like ferry a spear over to defend with the balloon.
So I want to talk a little bit about formations, especially in regards to Vesper, where like there's always like two different types of formations. There's like the ones where you put your weak units in front to body block, and the ones where you put your stronger units in front so that you can't be breaking through. And I think Vesper wants to do the first option most of the time because she needs her big units to be alive after the enemy's attack to be able to counterattack and then groove. Because Vesper Groove doesn't cover that many units at the same time, so you want your few big units to be healthy when you attack.
Oh. That's
Is he
interesting.
gonna go for it? I mean, it's pretty good value, but
Oh, actually.
he could like run Vesper up and groove and have Vesper be in the smoke too.
I don't think that's the plan. I think the plan is that only the witch or the only the witch can die, and the dragon will take just damage because there isn't another mage nearby. The bombs aren't nearby. The enemy witch can only hex, and that means like hex plus dragon means that like you have to get a perfect high roll to kill the dragon. So
Yeah,
we're just gonna see the
you're
army.
giving up the witch. But yeah, you kill a mage and a harpy, so
And like this means that the harpy can run forward and body block.
oh, never mind. I think the
Oh.
balloon is pretty good there. I'd like to see another witch from Vitto because once the witch dies, Koji bombs become a lot more tanky, I guess.
Oh, Vito wishes he had 10 more gold right now. Like he could have just built another dragon this turn.
Mm,
But yeah, taking out that mage, taking out that harpy. I mean, I thought he had a decent anti-air position, but no, Zero is actually like one of these bombs needed to be closer to the right to pop onto one of those if he was gonna take them both out.
yeah, I think he was letting himself get zoned a bit too much by the archer and the witch. I'm not sure Zero is that comfortable on Koji.
This is a very awkward position.
Yeah, because like keeping the bombs behind your army like this doesn't accomplish much. The main strength of the bombs is that you can really like put them in front of your army and it's hard to kill them.
What's funny here, I think the thief on the right hand side, like let's say, ooh, big hacks. Is Zero just gonna go for a big push?
I think he might. And then have his golems getting the action, I guess.
Yeah, I guess if he shoves first, then Vesper has to like groove in response to it. And that hex did so much damage actually, wow. Like 50 gold archer, 45 on the balloon.
It also hit the witch and the dragon.
Yeah, like that's a big money hex right there. And that's why you keep like the 10 health one alive. So you can do stuff like that.
The sword lives here.
Ooh. That's not what you want to have happen.
I mean, I don't think anything could have hit from that forest.
Yeah, but you still want to clear stuff if you can. Because that sword is now a body blocker.
That's true. And if the once the witch dies, you don't like you'll have to use the bombs if you want to kill a 1 HP sword in Vesper group. Yeah, Golem runs in. Chose to kill the witch and not and not hit the dragon, which I mean I guess it makes sense, but now it means that the golem is gonna be a little vulnerable
Yeah.
to dragon and Vesper.
So the big reason that makes sense is like Hex is huge, and Hex would also kill the witch. So like, sure, the dragon would do like a lot of damage and kill one unit, but the witch would do a ton of damage, kill the witch. Like damage of the golem and like the counter attack damage would be even stronger because everything on Zeronix's side is on 90 health now. And as long as there's like a ton of mages out, the dragon isn't that big a threat. Like there's what, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4 mages on the field. And a witch that he can't really hit. I mean, I guess the archer could pick off the witch. Like he has to get through a golem to get to, or he can kill the bridge spear as well. Actually, I'm very curious if we're gonna see Groove use this turn.
I mean, I think you have to.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess you'd want to like safely night crit the golem.
I mean, I think you just need to counter attack and might as well groove, because this way next turn you don't get damaged back.
Yeah. Alright, how's this gonna work out?
Hang on. I never checked if mage crit at 90 kills a spear.
Oh, it doesn't. Well, not consistently anyway.
Not on planes apparently.
He could.
Oh, he could have killed it if he hit with the sword, did he?
Oh no, he didn't. Oh, that's a good
Oh.
point actually.
That's
yeah,
really unfortunate.
Yeah, you could just sacrifice the sword to do it.
Because now your attack on the spears is gonna have to involve the archer, yeah.
And he can do stuff like dragon hits the golem and then like night crit follow up and kills it. And then
I really think hitting with the sword would have been like key, because then the archer can kill the witch, but now you have to use the archer to break through the spears on the left. And it's really unfortunate. I mean, if you want to kill the golem at least. Which,
Right.
I mean, you probably should.
43. Oh, night crit won't be consistent here. You might have to like sacrifice a dog to do this. I think this is actually just really unfortunate rolls.
Yeah, this is starting to be rough. I mean, Zeronix's Witch Hex last turn really hurts the attack this turn.
Yeah, and that's a big part of why he kills the witch, because otherwise, yeah.
Killing the witch was really the right call.
Yeah, because you know that spear would be dead, the witch would be dead. The other spear would have lived still, but yeah, there just would have been so much more stuff on low health.
Like, if you could have attacked with the dragon from the left, so much stuff would be better right now. Oh, and this, I think Vesper might die here, because she's in range of Koji bombs and she didn't groove.
Oh, and you can even do something like Mage Heal on the Golem, hit Vesper Suicide.
Yeah, this is looking like the end. I don't see how Vito can cover this.
I mean, Witch dies at least. Like, you just run the mage into kill.
Oh,
Or not.
another unit leaving on 1 HP.
Wow, there's actually just a bajillion unit suicides here.
Yeah, this is
A mage
very
runs
dead
down.
Vesper. And if he mage heals now, it's like you really should have mage healed at the beginning of the turn after this witch hex, I think.
Oh, because if the mage heal had been on Vesper, it probably would have killed.
Yeah, if the mage heal like hits, for example, I'm not sure if it's possible, but if it hits Vesper and the mage, then this attack is really way better.
That's it, there's 2 minutes left on the clock. So Vito.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the-
true. It's really hard to think about how to attack perfectly when you're low on time. So it's still a decent attack, but yeah, Vesper's gonna die. So
So mage heal onto Golem, I guess. And the spear and the witch. Because you might as well. And then you let Golem suicide in. Oh, it does a witch hex first.
I mean, I think you have overkill damage at this point, so
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
Oh, clears the sides.
Yeah, we're gonna see the harpies come in most like the bombs. Like at this point, the bombs and Koji deal 90 average on road, and then you still have a side with the
Spear crit, yeah.
spear crit. So
No, but we're gonna see the Golem suicide come through.
I'm wondering if we'll see the thief steal from the village before the game ends.
And there come the bombs. 1. Yeah, then
Yep.
Koji walks down and kills.
Just ends it.
And that's good game.
Yep.
Zeronix taking it over Vito, which I think I would have said was the expected result, but either way it was a close match.